So does somebody want to read me that paragraph? So I'm going to read that out loud. And yeah, we'll see how we get along there. And then I'll get you guys to try and give me the correct answer. So the paragraph on the screen here says, an artist's drawing of Oumuamua, a strange shaped object that passed by Earth. Astronomers are not sure if it is an asteroid or something else altogether. So, which word is a scientist who studies objects in space? Grace Lee, can you tell me which one of those two words?
The first one.
Astronomers, yes, thank you. And so let's go, Owen. How about number two? What is a rock that moves through space?
Asteroid.
Asteroid, very good, and nice pronunciation there as well. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to look at something else, and then we're going to come back to the reading. But I just wanted to get started with that. Whoops. And right, so we're going to be looking at foundations in reading and writing for the next for quite a few weeks. So we should be having lots of fun with that. Now, one of the key things to know when we're talking about reading and writing and storytelling of any sort is that you need to know where you're going to end up before you get started. How many of you have read or seen Harry Potter? Raise your hand if you've seen or read Harry Potter. Perfect, almost all of you. The author who wrote that book, J.K. Rowling, she knew the ending of the seventh book before she finished writing the third book. She decided she had to know how it was going to end and then came back. And that's a big part of what we call the writing process, is making sure you know where you want to end up before you start, right? So that we are going to be going back to the Foundations reader in a second. We're going to be working on that for the end of today, but I also wanted to discuss the homework you guys are going to be doing. I have posted some of it on the Google Classroom already. I've seen that we have a couple people. I'm going to go to there in 1 second to make sure that everyone has the Google Classroom login and that we can all sign into it so that we can all see everything that's being posted on there. Because when I was there at around 2 o'clock this afternoon, which is the last time I checked on it, I think I only had like 3 people who had joined.
What book is it?
So it's called Foundations. If just 1 second. It should be, sorry, actually, hold on. We can put it back up there. If you see right here on the third line in the blue, it should be Foundations SB PDF. Should have been the file that was given to you and sent to you.
Which one? Which book?
The one on with the blue cover.
This one?
Yes. Okay, so we're going to be looking now in lesson at pages 9 to 14, which is we looked at the first page. We already looked at page 9, which was the picture of the asteroid, or is it, Oumuamua. And we're going to read a little bit more about that. We're going to do some of the work.
It says it's an asteroid, but
so hold on, don't read. What I'm going to get you guys to do now is a little bit of skim reading. So we looked at that first, and I'm going to put it up on the screen for, actually, you're getting ahead of me for a second. I want to come to the homework, talk about that, and then we will get into the reading. So every week, there's going to be writing homework assigned. So at the start of class, there's going to be some reading everyone's going to do, and I'm going to quickly spend 5 minutes talking to each of you about whatever work it was, or 2-3 minutes talking to you about whatever you handed in and how to help improve that. So that means every Sunday that you have to have that article submitted, or the reading, or the whatever that homework that I set that week handed in. So that's on the Google Classroom. You'll find the same instructions that I have highlighted in green here. So find an article to read, or find and read an article. You're going to write 1 to 2 sentences that tell me the quote unquote the gist of the article. We're going to talk about what the gist means in when we look at the reading we're doing today. But you're going to give me 1 to 2 sentences basically explaining what's the article about. Then 3 to 4 sentences that give me, that I've selected 3 to 4 details about your article, about your topic, so that you can explain it to me a little bit detail, make sure that I understand that you picked the good bits of information out of there. And finally, the last thing you're going to do is identify a couple pieces of interesting or new or difficult vocabulary that you hadn't seen before. So that's going to be the homework that's due for next Sunday. So that's what we'll begin every class looking at that. And so there won't be as much talking at the beginning. We'll be able to jump straight into work. So if you like this on the homework link on the website, I have included the cbc.ca/kid news. So if you can't think of it anywhere, of any article, and you don't want to search around that much, there is a safe, good website to use that you can find articles about to use for this sort of assignment. And you can keep it handy. It's a good one to have. So all of you should have your book open in front of you. It is going to be on page 9. Oh, and actually, sorry, that was the last thing I needed. So let's see. I still only have 2 students, as you can see in this class. So I'm going to go back 1 second.
Well, what is the code?
There's the class code. That's why I wanted to come here before we went to the reading. You see the class code is right there on the screen in front of you, everybody. Please, please, please get it down now. And while we're here, join on in. As you can see, there's already 2 announcements. One where I said hello and gave you guys a little bit of some words that we're going to be looking at today. And I'll do that in the future, earlier on in the day, put that up there so that if you have a bit of spare time, you can check out some of those keywords, just ones that you might not be familiar with that a Google search could assist you with, but at the same time, we'll talk about it. So there's the class code. I'll read it out one more time, and then I'm going to get to the reading that we're looking at today. So that code is 364 E4M5. So I hope you have all got that down. Yes, Emma, you have a question, or is that just a thumbs up? I got it. You got it? Excellent. Good stuff. Okay. So on to the reading for today. So like I said, it's from the Foundations SB book. And we're looking at, so the first task that would go back to that first page. It says skim reading. Now, I don't know if any of you have skim read before, but what you're supposed to do when you skim read is when you look at a page, when you have a piece of paper in front of you, often what your eyes will do is it'll find bits on the page that have been highlighted a special color, underlined, made bold, put on its angle so it's a little slanty. They change the font. When you notice that when you're reading, that's called skim reading, right? That's just noticing the things that stick out on the page and letting your eyes skim towards that spot and be drawn and attracted to that spot and read the information. That's what you're going to do now. So when you're going to look at, what is it? The Mysterious Visitor, that 1-page article there. And the first time I want you to do is just skim. Allow your eyes to be attracted by any text that sticks out. And I want you to work out what, according to some scientists, what do they think Oumuamua might also be? They know they think it's an asteroid. What else do they think? So let's quickly go to here, check through. Read that. If you think, when you think you know the answer, raise your hand. So remember, you're looking for all the words. So look through them. Does any one of them give you a hint to what else it could be other than an asteroid? Oh, looks like we did have a quick hand. I think Catherine. Absolutely. What else did they think it could be, Catherine?
They said it could be a piece of alien technology.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, absolutely. Right. Yeah, if you look at it, yeah, they're not entirely sure because of the odd shape. Who knows, right? So they say the object's long, thin shape, and it looked like it changed speed. Interesting stuff. Okay, fantastic. So what I want you to do now, so that's the perfect bit. You've gone through and you've read once. Now it's going to be, the next task is going to be to go through and read a little bit, well, actually not a little bit, read slower this time. You're going to have, there's going to be some questions you answer, some multiple choice questions down here, right? So I've mentioned this, we're going to discuss it. The multiple choice questions relate to different elements of the writing, right? So the first multiple choice question, and it's going to happen like this a lot on these readings. The first question asks you to tell us the gist of the story. The gist means exactly what the first question asks. What is the reading mainly about? There might be other things that you can read in, but there's going to be one focus of the story, right? So you're going to, in a second, go back and read those questions, go back and read the story. But it's always good before you read the story or do any bit of reading, know what questions you're going to be answering before you go and read. Get familiar with them so that your brain pays attention, and maybe you can just draw a little mark on your book with a pencil or something, so that when you see the answer that relates to one of the questions, you can make a little mark there and you'll remember. Yes, Catherine, what's your question?
I don't have the book yet.
You don't have the book. Okay, so then I'm going to put the reading back up, and I'll slowly bring it down so that you'll be able to get the whole thing, okay? So I'm going to put the reading back onto the question, but just before we do, let's read the 5 questions that we're going to look at now together. The first, what is the story about? Right? What is the reading mainly about? The gist. Second, a detail question. What did scientists learn from studying Oumuamua's speed and direction? Question 3, another detail question. What is not given as a reason why Oumuamua could be an alien spaceship? And question 4, in paragraph C, what does considered mean? And finally, the last one, inference. According to the infographic on page 10, when was Oumuamua first seen from Earth? Okay, so we're going to go back up. You guys are going to get, we're going to call it around 5 minutes for reading. And if you're done earlier, just put a thumbs up into the chat, and then we can continue on. Again, it's on the screen if you do not yet have your book.